ladies is a June bride. What is your name, please?
My name is Jean Simon Mortimer.
What is your name, please?
My name is Jean Simon Mortimer.
What is your name, please?
My name is Jean Simon Mortimer.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Jean Simon Mortimer and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now, here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you, and good evening. And welcome once again to Tell the Truth. And now let's meet our panel. What is your name, please?
My name is Betty White.
My name is Jackie Cooper.
My name is Kitty Carlisle.
And my name is Gardner.
Mine is Bud Collier, and I can't even pronounce the name of the show. Now, these three ladies all claim to be Jean Simon Mortimer. Obviously, only one is the real Mrs. Mortimer. The other two have merely assumed her identity, and they are the ones who do not have to stick to the truth. Now, panel, may I direct your attention to your copies of this first affidavit and ask you to follow along with me as I read from the original. I, Mrs. Jean Simon Mortimer, am a former model and I'm currently studying for my master's degree in psychology at a university here in New York. My husband, who is also a psychology student, is a British subject and served for 2 years in the Royal Air Force in England. We met 9 months ago in a class in statistics. We were married at 11:30 this morning. Signed, Mrs. Jean Simon Mortimer. And here is the bridegroom, Mr. Mortimer. All right, panel, as you heard, these three young ladies all claim to be Jean Mortimer, June Bride. In fact, this very day, June Bride. Only the real June Mortimer must answer your questions truthfully. You will, as usual, question until you hear this signal, and at the end of the questioning period, you will cast your vote for the one who, in your opinion, is the real Mrs. Mortimer. And let's begin tonight's proceedings. But before we do, let me warn each and every one of you, members of our panel, that you may not direct any questions to Mr. Mortimer. That's off base. And we start with Betty White. Betty?
Spoiled sport. Well, I can't take a look at them and see who looks like she's used to wearing that outfit. That wouldn't be fair. Number one, what is your husband's pet name for you?
His name for me?
Mm-hmm.
Cookie.
Oh, and what's your name for him?
Honey.
Mm-hmm. And number two, what is your pet name for your husband?
Randy.
And his name for you?
Honey.
And number three, what's your husband's pet name for you?
Baby doll.
And yours for him?
Rudy.
Rudy? I wish I could ask him his name. It would solve the whole game right here. Number one, where was your husband stationed in England?
In Morham. It's about 120 miles from London.
Jackie Cooper.
Number two, how do you spell psychology?
Psychology.
Yeah, that's right. Number one, what are your honeymoon plans?
Well, we're going to be going to school this summer, but maybe we could cut a class.
Number three, what color are your husband's eyes?
Oh, they're big blue eyes.
Big blue eyes, number one, what is the difference between a psychoanalyst and a psychiatrist?
Well, a psychiatrist is really a medical doctor, and a psychoanalyst is not.
Kitty?
Number one, what is your husband's first name?
Adolf.
And number two?
Randall.
Number three?
Rudolph.
Number one, what is the id?
The id is your inner self.
Number two, who is Pavlov?
A Russian psychologist.
Number three, who is Dr. Ernest Jones?
A disciple of Freud.
Number one, what nationality was Dr. Freud?
He was Austrian.
Number two, can you tell me what university you go to?
Yes, I go to Long Island U.
And you, number three?
I go to New York University.
I was afraid of that. Number one, where do you go?
Columbia.
Hi, Gardner.
Number one, where were you married?
We were married in City Hall this morning.
Number one, also, what floor of City Hall do you get your license to marry in New York?
That's the municipal building on the second floor.
Number two, incidentally, Bud, can't I ask the husband anything?
Not a thing.
Fine thing. Married 12 hours and you won't let him talk already. Number three, for whom did you model? Number three.
Hugh McCaffrey.
Number two, what is the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist?
The psychiatrist has an MD. The psychologist is merely trained in psychology.
Number one.
That's it. Time to vote, panel. You've had a nice look and a nice bit of questioning, and without consultation now, will you please cast your votes and select thereby number one, number two, or number three. Remember that the team of challengers gets $250 for every incorrect vote. All set, panel? Betty, have you voted?
I voted.
Well, for whom did you vote?
Do I have to only pick one?
Only one.
Well, I voted for number three because she looks a little scareder than the other two, I think.
Marriage is a frightening thing, you mean?
Think it isn't?
Jackie, your vote, please.
Well, I voted for number one because she married a man from the Air Force, and she kind of looks like the sort of a girl that would take a flyer.
All right. Kitty Carlisle, please, your vote.
I voted for number two. They all had very good answers, but number three said her husband had big blue eyes, and I don't think that Mr. Mortimer has big blue eyes. And I thought he seemed to pay more attention to number two as they came down.
And what about your vote, High?
I voted for number one, Bud. First of all, I made a recent trip down to that same City Hall. It was the second floor of the municipal building. And I don't know, but...
Did you get married?
Number one, yes, recently you mean? Number one also seems to have a special glow, like she just got a diamond ring or a vicuna or something.
Well, we'll stay away from any further reasons there. Since we have cast our votes and given you our decisions and our reasons for them, let's find out now which of these three lovely ladies is the real June bride, as of today, this morning, in fact. I'm not going to ask him to stand up, but Mr. Mortimer, will you please select your bride and give her a honeymoon kiss? And if he was looking that way at number two, he may have some explaining to do this very night. Congratulations to you both. Number one, would you tell us who you really are and what you do, please?
My name is Mrs. Peter Antonelli. I was formerly the Indian princess with the Howdy Doody show. I am married now 2.5 years, and I have 2 baby daughters.
And number two, what about you?
My name is Mrs. Frank Geromo. I have been married for 7 years and have 3 sons.
Better work out a deal with number one with those girls. All right. Well, now let's see what we had by way of a score. We had 3 incorrect at $250 each, which means a total of $750 from Marlborough. Now, before we go any further and I say goodnight to you, I did a little scurrying around, as we all did, and we found out that your plans are really quite indefinite about your honeymoon. Is that right? Okay. Here's a surprise for you. For our happy honeymooners, Marlborough has arranged for a perfectly wonderful honeymoon to Bermuda via Pan American, the world's most experienced airline. And while you're in Bermuda, you will stay at the luxurious Castle Harbor Golf, Beach, and Yacht Club, Bermuda's newest and largest seaside resort. Congratulations to you, and best wishes for a long and happy married life. And to all of you on your way out, there's a carton of Marlboros waiting for you. Thanks and good luck. Now may we meet our next team of challengers, please.
What is your name, please?
My name is Walter Chautesse.
What is your name, please?
My name is Walter Schultes.
What is your name, please?
My name is Walter Schultes.
Coming up, another affidavit. Panel, follow along, please. I, Walter Schultes, was born in Switzerland and studied at the famous International Hotel School in Lucerne. I am currently a waiter at the new International Hotel at Idlewild Airport. Before that, I was the wine steward at one of New York's leading hotels. From the spring of 1952 to the fall of 1953, however, I was butler for Winston Churchill at 10 Downing Street when he was the Prime Minister of England. Signed, Walter Schultes. Panel, as you heard, these three gentlemen claim to be Walter Schultes, former butler to Winston Churchill. Let's start this cross-examination with Hi Gardner. Hi?
Number one, at what hotel in New York were you wine steward?
It was the Stadler Hotel,
A Statler Hotel, which one, do you know?
in the Café Rouge.
Number two, what hotel were you wine steward in New York?
Ambassadeur.
Ambassador? Who was a fellow by the name of Christenberry in that hotel?
Don't know him.
Number three, what hotel did you work
Hotel
at?
Pierre.
The Pierre. Who runs the Pierre?
The general manager is Mr. Paget.
What'd you say the name was?
Mr. Paget.
Number three, Sir Winston Churchill drinks a rare vintage brandy. Can you tell me the name of that brandy?
Haney.
Beg pardon?
Haney.
Number two, what have Orvieto, Strega, and Galliano in common?
Wine.
Betty?
Number two, Mr. Churchill is descended from a famous duke. Could you tell me which one?
Duke of Marlborough.
I ought to get us both invited back. Number one, is Chanson de Blanc a red or a white wine?
I beg your pardon?
Is Chanson de Blanc a red or a white wine?
It's a white wine.
Number three, is Chanson de Blanc a red or a white wine?
A white wine.
Number two, is Chanson de Blanc a red or a white wine?
White wine.
Number three, if you accidentally dumped a bowl of soup in a customer's lap, what would you do first?
I would try to take care of this thing.
Quick, get the bottle of Chanson de Blanc. Jackie?
Number three, you say here you were a wine steward. How do you spell Manischewitz?
It's a very rare wine.
It's a very rare wine.
Very rare wine, yes. I think it's spelled Manisc. Eni. I'm lost completely.
Well, we lost that time in spelling. Kitty?
Number one, did you awaken Mr. Churchill in the morning?
No, that was Rufus.
That was Rufus.
Yeah.
Who was Rufus?
His dog.
His dog. Number two, would you serve a good red burgundy with fish?
Never.
Number three, would you serve a good white chablis with game?
No.
Number one, you says you come from Switzerland. Where is Ouchy?
Ouchy, that's the Lake of Geneva.
All the time we have, so once again, will you cast your votes without consultation and select by your voting number one, number two, or number three? Betty's pondering this one a little. For whom did you vote this time, Betty?
Well, I know this isn't right, and Polly would know it isn't right, but I got to stick with number two after that Duke of Marlborough.
Okay, and Jackie Cooper, your vote, please.
I voted for number 1. I think Sir Winston Churchill's dog influenced me the most there. Besides, he looks like kind of fellow could spell Manischewitz.
Kitty, your selection.
I voted for number 3. I don't think number 1, who's very plausible, was old enough to have been Butler to Churchill in 1952. And begging your pardon, I thought number 3 might have been.
And hi, Gardner, who's your selection?
Well, I voted for number 3 also. I thought that his answers were closer on the beam, and I've never yet met a steward, wine steward, who could spell anything. I mean, the wine he was selling.
I understand.
Like the letters to wine stewards.
All right. You have our rhymes and reasons. Let's see how they compare with yours, because we trust that you're playing along at home with us. And we'll discover now which one of these 3 gentlemen is the real former butler at number 10 Downing Street. So will the real Walter Chautesse please stand up? Thank you, sir. Number 2, would you tell us who you really are and what you do?
Yes, my name is Maurice Shire. I was born in Brooklyn, and I'm a dealer in precious jewels and gems specializing in Oriental pearls.
Thank you.
Manischewitz pearls, that is. Number 3, would you tell us who you are and what you do?
My name is George Nagorski. I was born in Warsaw, Poland. I'm now Assistant District Sales Manager for Swissair in New York.
Thank you, sir. Yes, hi. You have a quick question?
Well, Bud, just to get me off the hook with wine stewards. Number 1, can you spell Manischewitz?
Never mind. Let's not go through that again. Well, we see there were 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes again at $250 each for a total of $750 from Marlboro. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and on your way out, you'll each pick up your carton of Marlboros. Thanks a lot. Good night and good luck. Now may we have our 3rd team of challengers, please.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joe Rockosanto.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joe Rockosanto.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joe Rockosanto.
Comes now our 3rd affidavit. Will you follow along, please? I, Joe Rockosanto, am an employee of the New York Department of Sanitation. My hobby is golf. I started to play when I was 16 years old, and 1 year later I won the New York Junior Metropolitan Championship. I have been in amateur competition ever since. My biggest thrill came when I shot a 68 to qualify to play in the National Open Golf Championship, which was held this past weekend in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Signed, Joe Rockosanto. As you heard, these 3 stalwart gentlemen all claim to be Joe Rockosanto, tournament golfer. We'll start this round with Jackie Cooper. Jackie?
Number 2, who won the Open last weekend?
Tommy Bull.
And number 1, you're in the sanitation department. What do you do?
I work for the Bureau of Waste Collection. I am a garbage man.
Number 3, when you shot the 68, was that was last week, was it?
Well, no, that was the qualifying round.
Oh, well, when you shot this qualifying round, what did you shoot on the back 9?
On the back 9, I had a 45 going out.
All right, number 1.
I'll have you.
Number 3. Hold it 1 minute.
That was the doggone home 9 you ever saw.
That's what I say. That back 9 was pretty fast.
All right, Kitty.
What happens to all the garbage in the big hotels? I never see any cans on the street.
We don't collect it. We're not allowed to.
Oh.
We just collect from home.
Uh-huh. Number 2, what is the nickname of the garbage collectors in New York?
Garbage collectors.
Number 3, do you have a union?
Yes, we do.
What's it called?
It's the Alliance for the Community and Welfare.
I haven't got the nerve to ask this question. Number 3, how many manholes a day do you play? Number 2, what New York Sanitation Commissioner later became Police Commissioner of New York City?
Mr. Kennedy?
Beg pardon?
I doubt I don't know.
Number 3, do you know?
No.
Number 1, do you know?
Mr. No.
Betty White.
Number 2, giggles. do garbage men collect empty bottles?
Yes.
How do you spell Manischewitz? I'm sorry. Number 1, if you have an uphill lie, do you play it off your left foot or your right foot?
Play it off my right foot.
With his broom. That's all the time we have. I'm sorry to say it's time to vote, or I'm glad to say it's time to vote this time. Will you mark your ballots with your mashy nibblings for number 1, number 2, or number 3? All right. Have you replaced your divots, pal? Betty, for whom did you vote?
Well, this is kind of silly, because sentimentally I've got to go for number 2. But number 1 nodded at the end of a question that he was the only one that knew about the union, so I have to go for number 1.
Okay, Jackie Cooper, your vote.
Well, I voted for number 2 because he broke up so fast that the 45 on the going out of the first
23 on the back nine. Kitty, your vote.
Well, I voted for number 1 on the theory that he's the most serious-minded of the 3.
And Highgard.
Well, I voted for number 2 despite the fact that he gave the wrong commissioner, sanitation commissioner. It was Monahan, if you remember. But the reason I voted for him, the same as Jackie, he broke up when he mentioned 45, and that did it.
Okay, there you have it. And let's see how you did as we find out how we did, as we discover which one of these 3 gentlemen is the real tournament golfer. Will the real...
Be funny if it was number 3.
Will the real Joe Rockosanto please stand up? Well, number 3, you just bogeyed yourself right out of that one. Number 1, would you tell us who you really are and what you do, please?
My name is Bill Stein, and I am in charge of special programs for the Mutual of New York's Park Avenue office.
Thank you, sir. And number 3, what about you?
My name is Frank Musiello. I'm a radio and television producer director for Arthur Godfrey and Leland Hayes.
And you forgot to add that you never played golf in your life. Well, there were little different score this time. 2 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $500 from Marlboro. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Good night, happy golfing, and good luck. Time's all gone for tonight except Jack. Thanks very much for being with us. And may I just say to you, I hope you have lots of fun playing with your jazz group at the Round Table Club here in New York.
Thank you.
John Cameron Swayze will be in your chair next week, and then Jackie will be back with us. Betty, see you again next week, too.
Good.
Good night, panel.
Good night,
Good night,
Bud.
Bud.
Now, this is Bud Collier saying good night from Marlboro and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production in association with the CBS Television Network. Wedding attire courtesy of Benson Young Incorporated, New York City.